equals wellness. Ashe. No love. No love. Listening to music by Nat Love, my brother from the same mother. I was thinking about reading a poem. Wonder if I should read the poem. Okay. New View Review. Oh dear, no fear is here to adjust your focus. No fuss, no cuss. The dust covering like a crust flaked off of us to uncover the deep treats that defeat the purpose. Choices chosen. Tick, glitch, switch, vertigo, let go, breathe. Smell the flowers, blow the candles out. Your new age old, let it go, unfold to behold a whole new view. To subscribe to woo-hoo to have tears of joy and delight. And there's more music, and I could continue, but I'll let that be that because it was long. Ashe, ashe. I had a few things to say today, and I wrote a few of them down, and I'm hoping to share with you now. I don't know why I'm being so poetic. It's whoo, just a feeling. So some of the things that I wanted to talk about that I didn't talk about the bridge at all. One Love and Wellness, One Love and Wellness, Precious Mother Love, Love plus Art equals Wellness, Heart Happy Hour Season 4. I am having I wanted to think through some of my thoughts on the bridge incident in Baltimore before I spoke. So, I travel Baltimore often and I've traveled that bridge. And in my mind, I always felt that it was a sensitive bridge. I felt that it was not a stable or sturdy bridge. That was me on it before. But seeing the video of, that one hit, that one direct hit, leveling the playing floor. Hey dear, how are you too? My goodness, how are you? I'm not sure. Asuma Maud, something like that. Please shut up about the bridge. Is that what it is? Okay, so my thoughts are that they're widening that thoroughfare and making it safer. They hadn't passed whatever standards by much, and they were in the repair phase anyway. So insurances would cover whatever was happening, even though they're doing this, state of emergency, blah, blah, blah. Which also reminds me of the thought of them doing the state of emergency about these solar eclipses. So I found out that in addition to the rockets that are being shot up, the three rockets that are named after this dragon, is it Pophis or Prophis or something like that? But there are also three jets going up, three jets that we had not been necessarily informed about, but they're those same, well, it's HR 57. They're supposedly able to go 60,000 feet above the earth and travel about 2,500 miles on whatever the amount of gas. And in that time, I believe they would cover, it would be 6.5 hours to get to that. I don't know. Somehow the numbers don't math to me that I read, even though they were NASA numbers. Speaking of numbers that don't math, there's all kinds of information going around about the amount of solar eclipses that we're about to have, that we have had or that we will have. So the one in 2017, they sent these jets up during that as well, these three jets. to do measurements and so on. And I believe, some of it is, true per se, as far as, yeah, they want to gather information, but I think it's also going to, and I said this last time, and I'm shaking, and it's almost like I'm filled with some energy that I just need to get out. I've never felt this way in front of the camera before, but once. I've got this way sometimes when I'm up on stage and I'm singing, and if I'm in the right tune, and if I'm singing the right tune, which, let me try to take some deep breaths, smell the roses, and blow out the candles, like the poem said. So, one love and wellness. I've got a lot that I have been filling up with lately as far as my energy, and I've been tuned into a lot. Like I said, I wanted to speak on the bridge, um, and I wanted to speak on the resonance of the earth. They're talking about sending up um, recorders that will be recording the frequency, the emissions, the sonic, the solar, the of the sun and of the earth, of all the planets. I put out a short just a moment ago that told us, and it was actually Billy Carson that was speaking, a snip that I got, where I was able to share. He was sharing about that each planet has a specific frequency, and when it's resonating, it sounds like conversation. Um, I'm not sure if that's the kind of thing that I'm hearing sometimes. The resonance that I hear sounding like it's conversation, but I know I'm not listening to the radio. I'm saying it's not words. It's kind of like that white noise that I hear sometimes, and it's not tinnitus or whatever. I know it's not the bells in my ears or anything like that, but um, the solar eclipse is being measured by these instruments, by these the rockets that are going up. They're causing a certain amount of interference, but they're also going to be able to be sensitive to what are the changes from the temperatures to the ionic scope. The different measurements that they'll be able to measure. It's definitely that we're being more curious about the impacts, or at least I am, and I'm seeing everybody else seems to be as well. But in addition to us being curious, you know, we're doing magical things with it. We're recording it and making it into music. If we're having parties, we're gathering at all the beautiful places and spots. I know in 2017 there was some hype, but not as much as hype as this amount of hype, which, if everybody is being sensitive to what's going on. I mean, solar eclipses are usually about new things coming about, new starts, giving us knocking down some things, because it's usually the solar and the lunar happening together. It's a eclipse season, so when the lunar happens, it's usually a cleansing, a washing, a detoxing, a get rid of, a sloughing off, a spring cleaning, because it happens in, usually in the spring and the fall. um, that's what I've seen. The months usually vary from February to April, and then August to October, as far as the window of solar and lunar eclipse. And so, as I started speaking about those numbers, the dates, I looked at the Farmer's Almanac, I looked at NASA, and I looked at one other, which I don't recall what it was, but those resources had three different dates. um, NASA says that's who it was. The other was NASA. NASA says that it won't be until 2033, but the Farmer's Almanac says that it's in 2026, or is it 2025? I think it's 2025. No, 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 2025 or 2026. There's one partial solar eclipse for 4 years, and then oh, good gracious, I sound very confused. The partial eclipse is happening on a more regular basis. The total eclipse happens, and I've heard that's what I'm saying. The math isn't mathing, and that's why it's confusing me, because these different resources have different information, and it's not matching up. It's not mathing to me. So let me just refrain from saying when the next ones are. But I do know I've heard that partial and a full lunar and a partial solar eclipse is in September the 17th is the lunar, and October the 2nd is the solar. So we continue to have these eclipses, and to what magnitude that they occur happens on an irregular basis. But the next one that's a full moon that is a also a solar eclipse is a total eclipse is going to be on a blood moon. Hopefully, what I read about that is correct. I could name some sources, but anyway. So the last thing, because I think I want to be quick about it today. There was an earthquake that came by here. I'm in Maryland this evening, and the earthquake came by Baltimore, came through well, this is another thing. We're in retrograde, right? So maybe that's why my information isn't coming up actually the same each time. But so the first time that I pulled up where the origin of yesterday's earthquake on this side of the coast of the U.S. was it said Lebanon, New Jersey is where it started from. But then when I went back again, it said it started from some other place, but that was in New Jersey. And you have a question, I thought it said lollipop. What does it say? Yeah. So yeah, the math. What is it? Mathing on it? It's the stuff that I'm looking up. So I probably should just refrain from speaking on it. But I just know that there was two earthquakes yesterday that was recorded, and maybe that's what I'm looking at. Maybe that's why those two names came up. But the first one was at 4.8. The second one was at 4.0, and that apparently was at 10 o'clock last night, or and then the one yesterday morning was at like 10:30. So anyway, so I thought that that was significant, that 4.8 coming in what was Lebanon. They said that the stroke that went for the last solar eclipse in 2017 went across this way, and the Salem or Salam, which is peace. And then this one that well, no, this one was Salem, and then this one is, which is this one that's coming now, um Nineveh, the whole way down, um the way up from Texas to Maine and then Canada and then Newfoundland. But yeah, so it seems like it has a significance, of marking X marking the spot. That's if we're thinking on this grand scale. And energetically, there's a lot of shifts that's going on, with this earthquake stuff. So, the energies that are being shaken up, if each planet has its own frequency, and the earth is going through this moodiness with the moon going through its, you know passing through its shadow and so on, and casting a shadow, adjusting the temperature, the ions, the atmosphere changes, the immediate shifts, the things that we're monitoring this time, the things that we're paying more attention to. We are definitely becoming more adept at mining what's going on with this planet, because the more we pollute it, the more we are influenced. Those rockets that are going up, we're covering with a lot of, we're interfering with the atmosphere ourselves. And so when the nature comes through and interferes and responds to and cleans up our mess, or, responds to our mess, it seems like, Mother Nature is getting moody on us. She's letting us know that it is time for us to pay attention. And so that the light has told me that it is time for me to say good night. One love and wellness, family. Shay, I just wanted to say a few quick things. That's as much as I was able to say. Oh, look at me switching the light back on. Bringing back the early 90s. Oh, with my retro gear. I have a question. How many dudes did Diddy diddle if Diddy diddled dudes? That's right. That's interesting that you would be able to. I know. Remember, I just did my little poem, and if I would have did the rest of the poem, I had some Diddy skits in there too. So it would have been a little ironic to have put those few words together. But no, I don't go into the rhetoric on all of that stuff. I just know that it's time to get to shed light on things, get rid of old things. It's time to put a new light on things, a new view. That's what my poem was about, a new view. It actually began with, which I didn't begin in the beginning, but it began with objects in the mirror may seem closer than they appear. And so that was what I was going to start the poem with. I didn't get to start. So again, one love and wellness, love plus art equals wellness. Today was a little brief. It was not my norm. I caught the sunset. I hope you catch the short where I'm able to do, where I brought that in, and the words of Billy Carson on it, where he was talking about the resonance of the planet, and that's all I wanted to speak to. That Mother Nature is deciding that she is getting, it's like that movie. The word that when the world forgot the time the world forgot, that Netflix movie where the Teslas shut off and the electricity went off, and the time that the world left behind, something like that. Anyway, whatever. I'm gone. What love and wellness. Is this music gonna play or not? Thanks for hanging in there, precious mother love. Happy Heart Hour, season 4, almost up to the finale. The solar eclipse will be the finale on the 8th, and I may even record it live. Ashe, one love, one love. See you next time. Peace. Oh, I punched the button and it didn't go. Okay, okay. Time to go.